people see me to be mad, and if I go out, they see me strange, the way they talk. Even some of my friends were talking about me like that. So he's mad. So people were saying that, like, excuse me, let me put it in tree, like, Monsieur Adiama Atiapa. So you see that thing? Yeah. So they were just jeering at me like that. So beginning, the stigma was harsh and hard. So I was mostly restricted in the house. Because people think I'm going to go wild and do crazy things.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mental Health Quarters. Guess who is visiting us today? My friend, my good friend. So my name is Essie. I want to thank you so much for checking out my channel, and my friend is going to be sharing his lived experience today. Let me just allow him to introduce himself. But before that, kindly make sure that you subscribe so that the next time we put up a video, you'll be one of the first people to be notified. So let's roll. So can you kindly introduce yourself to us?
Okay. So first of all, I thank everybody that it's my pleasure that my story also inspire others to believe in the road to Chicago. Yeah, I know that it's a hard time for us all, but there's a way if we push. My name is Joseph Ofosuware, and I'm now in the mental health space. I'm doing a lot of research works in mental health. By professionally, I am a software engineer. In the tech field,
So Ofosuware and I have been friends for about 2 to 3 years, and he's such an amazing person. I'm not saying it because he's here, but he's very funny and he's very thoughtful, caring, and I'm really happy that he's here to share his story today. He's very good at what he does, especially the tech stuff and mental health research. Yes, and we've worked as peer research on a couple of projects. Yes. So Ofosuware, I know that you've been diagnosed with a mental health condition. Would you like to tell us the name of the condition?
Okay, so I've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I've lived with it since 2007 up to this point. So like 15 years gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you were diagnosed?
Okay, so I was 15 years at that time. I was in the junior high school. Final year, I was preparing to write my EC exams. So I was in Form 3, and it was first term. Form 3 first term. And then, actually, the way it came, most people don't know about mental health, especially where I come from. So I come from Eastern region, a small town called Ofosuware. So most people doesn't know. And the way it is, sometimes if you are not aware, don't view the person very well, you might not know the signs. So I myself, I didn't know I was going through this kind of issue. And my parents who couldn't identify, and my school, like if I say my school, my mates and teachers too couldn't identify, because it was showing everywhere, like in school it was showing, but nobody was able to identify, and in the house too nobody was able to identify. So what happened was, I was having another brother who used to live with us but came to Accra for work. and visited us one time. So he was the one who was able to identify changes in my behavior and confronted my parent that the way he sees me, he thinks that something is wrong with me. So he should pay close attention. So since then, that I found out that there's something wrong with me. I became big. So they took me to the hospital, and it was actually a district hospital.
Okay.
So the doctor diagnosed and he found out that I was having malaria and typhoid at the same time. And so even there was no signs to show that I was suffering from malaria and typhoid until we went to the hospital. Like the signs came and we went to the hospital and I was diagnosed. And so they were treating me for the malaria and the typhoid, and they were referring me to a small unit in the hospital for that handles mental health issues. So with time it became bigger. And the signs show up. What we would call relapse. So I relapsed. I was experiencing the mania more.
Okay.
Yeah. So I became out of control. And I was saying that I'm seeing creatures like sinisters, ghosts, that kind of thing. Yeah, and I was very afraid, so I find it hard to stay alone and always like struggling, like some people want to catch me, like the ghosts want to catch me, that kind of thing. And like I said, because most people are not aware of mental health issues and where to go if they are suffering from. My parents and my community also didn't know where to take me to. They were just relying on the district hospital, but you know that unit handling mental health. So they are not strong.
Okay.
They don't have. Let's say they put you on this medication and it's not working. They don't have enough resource and medication too. So it is somebody who lives in Accra, who was a friend of my father, who came down also to see me and recommended they should take me to Fountain Psychiatry.
In Accra.
In Accra. So that was 2008. So let's say the thing happened somewhere, getting to November, December. So they took me to the place 2008 after Christmas. Yeah, so this is how it all started with me, 2007 and 8. Yeah, so I went there, so that's where I was diagnosed of bipolar disorder. Yeah.
How old at the time you were diagnosed?
15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, so I was still 15, but I was heading towards 16 at the age of 16 because I am April born. So the diagnosis was between January and February. I was actually admitted the first time they had diagnosed me, so I was admitted. But when was the time we hosted the African Cup? I think 2008. Yeah, so during those times I was in the hospital admitted.
So I'm sure most of you know that bipolar disorder is a two-in-one sickness made of highs and lows in terms of mood swings. So you talked about your manic episodes. Did you also have depressive episodes?
Okay, so when it started, I was having the highs, and so I started experiencing the lows. When after proper treatment, I came home. So later on, before I started realizing the lows, I felt sad, I lose interest, because it has always been the high, the manic, yeah. And when it comes, I cannot settle down. I'm move from here to there. That's why I see these goals and semesters always come on me. You get those things, you know. So for me, beginning it was more of high, more of high than the low. And even now, I don't experience the low for a longer period. It just flash and turn back to a high. It seems that if I am on high for a very long time, I exhaust my energy, so then I drop back to the low. And when I settle for some time, I gain back the energy and the highs back in. That is how it has been with me.
Yeah. And it's different for everybody. Because when I used to have frequent manic episodes, I'll be manic for a long time, weeks, months. And when I'm depressed, the depressive episodes were shorter, maybe 2 weeks, then I'll bounce back to myself. So with these highs and lows you were experiencing, were you able to write the BEC you were preparing for while your mates were going on ahead? Did you write it with them?
Okay. Okay, so I couldn't write for the same year, 2008. I was supposed to complete GHS 2008. But the issue became, let's say, societal issue. Like, there was a problem between my family and the school. But the school believes, the authority of the school believed I'm going to spoil their grades, even though I was one of the best in the class before the incident. But they feel that because I have been like sick that way
for a
long time, they should not register me until the following year, hoping that I'll be better at that time. But my family they want me to complete because I was good and it just happened.
Yeah.
So I have the chances to pass. And the headmaster was like, he has the power to register, so he refused it. So it became quite societal. And where we lived, it's like a church. The school too is for the church.
Okay.
And my parents are in the church. So it became quite some societal thing. Yeah. But they didn't register me, so I have to stay back a year at home. And the situation even gets worse because it just started, so it gets worse. But there was a point where I became blind, and I was just locked up in the room, no school for me, and because I couldn't read, I couldn't see from the board. At that time, we were using a blackboard with a white chalk. Everything became black. I don't see anything. And you see books do have a white background and black text. Everything became white.
Okay.
You see, and so I couldn't see. So I was just kept in the room. And
so when you say kept in the room, were you locked up in the room or you just decided to stay in the room?
yeah, so I won't say like lock, but I can't see, so I can't go out. And so I was mostly in the room, indoors. Yeah, and also the hospitalization became more than even when it started. So this time they were also willing to repeat me again, but because of the first incident, the headmaster had no say. Even though he believed I'm going to spoil their grade, even worse off. Because the situation even became worse. Like I said, I became blind. But it wasn't so. I think the school authority were wrong. If I would have written the first time, it would be better. Because even this time I wrote, I had a grade 10. You get it? Which even the headmaster couldn't believe it. You get it? Yeah. So, and I found out that because I was good, I have studied it. So I knew it already, even though I was finding it hard time to read new. The ones that I have read, it was still in memory. So that helped me. So if I wrote like 2008, that would be better because that time everything is fresh and probably
You feel it would have helped you
yeah get better
move on.
grades, better and even moved on. Yeah, like you said, moved on.
So have you faced any form of, you have been on your road to recovery for about 15 years. So
yeah.
I've been on mine for 7, this is my 8th year, so you are more experienced. So have you faced any form of stigma and discrimination? Because it's a long time.
Okay, so beginning the area when the thing started because of how I was the things I was saying, doing. So people was like, he's mad. That kind of thing was there, and I was restricted because people see me to be mad, and if I go out, they see me spraying the way they talk. Even some of my friends were talking about me like that. Oh, he's mad. So people were saying that, excuse me, let me put it in tree, like, Monsieur Adiama Atiapa. So, you see that thing? Yeah. So, they were just jeering at me like that. So, beginning, the stigma was harsh and hard. So, I was mostly restricted in the house. Because people think I'm going to go wild and do crazy thing. Yeah, something like that. So for the community, yes, beginning, but at some point they get to understand. So I would say the stigma came down.
Okay.
Yeah, after let's say 1 year, the stigma came down. The stigma rise up to the point that my family had to let me leave the town to come to Accra to stay there.
To protect you.
Yeah, just to protect me. And so I was off. And by the time I came, I was quite normal. So I think that people thought, oh, now
you are fine. The sickness has been cured.
Cured, yes. And I was able to resume back to school. So yeah. And since then, it didn't just come out like that again. Even though I relapsed, it is just in the house.
Okay.
So my family people will see and quickly, now they know where to take me to, so they will quickly take me to the hospital. And either they will admit me or just treat me instantly and come back. I'm good.
Okay.
And so beginning was the stigma, but some points, yes, people wasn't referring to me like that anymore. Yeah, and they received me this time good because they thought I was fine because I wasn't showing any sign that I'm mad or crazy. Yeah.
On your road to recovery, your mental health journey, was there ever a time you had to go through any herbal treatment or prayer camps to get well? Because back then, I don't think mental health was the way, like you said, it wasn't the way it was. So did you ever go through that before ending up at the hospital?
Okay, so yeah, not before I ended up at the hospital. Like I said, first of all, they took me to the district hospital. Yeah, and so they handled it. So somebody referred us to Pantan, psychiatry. Yeah, but it came in the middle. Because when we were on the drug for some time, we thought that like malaria, you go there and they kill you and you are good. But this time it was keeping long. And the condition, I wasn't getting better. And I was also schooling. And so we wanted a cure. So GHS, we use some herbal medicine. Yeah. And even that one, I don't know whether the person didn't apply it well. Like, I don't know how to put it. I came, so like epilepsy.
Okay,
Where
you're having seizures.
seizure, yeah, and these flames coming. And so I was flaming. It's because of that herbal
So you were
medicine.
drinking the medicine?
No, it's actually not like a drink. Something like they drop it in the nose.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. And so that one became challenging, and they took me to it was a pastor who also do herbal. So they took me to his place, but it was a day because we realized that he couldn't do the work. Like he doesn't know much because he was offering up for something that we need to do that is faith based.
Okay.
And we weren't comfortable with that, so my dad just forgot about him and we came to Fanta.
Okay.
That was the first one. And the second one too, it was like between 2012. So we wanted a cure. So that one wasn't purely herbal, it was like homeopathic method. So it was, but I stopped taking the psychiatric drugs for 6 months, and that one didn't help. And so relapse came very strong, very strong, and they took me back to Pantine, and they admitted me, and everything became okay. And the next part, that was like, it wasn't willingly, like our choice was. 2013, doctors went on strike.
Okay.
If you remember, for a very long time, like I think like 3 months, either from February to June or May, and something like that. And so when the relapse came, if you go back to the hospital, they won't take care of you. So then we need to find other way. So we went to a herbalist to handle me. And that's where you see a lot of set of teeth. There was a whole lot of complication because the herbalist the medicine wasn't actually taking care of the situation as the psychiatric drugs would do.
Okay.
So then it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
The symptoms.
The symptoms, yeah, to the point I wanted to kill myself. It's not like suicidal thoughts. This one I was even unconscious. I didn't know what I was doing. So it was like I was killing myself unconsciously. It's not like I want to die, not that kind of thing. But I went to a state I didn't even know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. And in that process, I was trying things that would end me to die. Like it will end my life.
So that's how you lost your...
I lost the teeth, 2 sets of teeth. Because that wasn't all. I was knocking myself against solid material. My head cut open, all my body was wounded. So they needed to take me to the hospital. And because it was like kind of emergency, I didn't want the health staff saw me. They thought it was accident. And that was the reason why they even admitted me. Other than that, they would have said,
you're on strike.
You're on strike, yeah. And through that, I developed some new problem. They call it some nervous issue. So when they treated the wounds, they said that they just discharged me because they were still on strike. And they said that treatment they can't do, so unless we go to other hospitals like Pantine. By that time, Pantine was on strike too, so they won't take us. So we went back to the herbalist again, and that one too came worse. And they needed to take me back to the same hospital because the situation was well, like it became a death matter. And so they carried me from that place to the hospital. And lucky for us, then following day, doctors resumed work. And so they quickly rushed me back to Pantine. Everything became okay. So since then I find the right medication that really works for me. The psychiatric treatment. So I haven't relapsed since then.
You have been stable,
living
living your normal
living
life.
my normal life.
Going
Yeah. So This will happen when I was about to complete secondary school. So I needed to repeat, just like junior high school.
Okay.
Repeat. And this time it was worse because of the new case, the nervous issue. I needed to go back like two times.
2 times.
So let's say
senior high school.
Yeah, I supposed to complete 2013. I couldn't because of the case. So I supposed to complete with the 2014 batch, right? But this time I needed to do that with the 2015 batch.
Okay.
I was part of the last 4-year program.
Okay.
I completed with those who came the second batch for the next like 3 years program. Yeah. So roughly then it took me like 6 years for secondary school, then 4 years for junior high school.
Because of the condition.
Because of the condition.
Instead of doing 3 years for junior high school.
4 years for secondary school. It took me 4 years, 6 years. Yeah.
So I can see you said they who was taking you around, your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my family was taking me around. Yeah. Sometimes it was my request because I wanted care. So sometimes one was my school teacher, junior high school. The first one was my school teacher. And he was saying his father was a pastor and also herbalist. So I spoke to my parent, of which my parent knew the teacher too. So we tried our pastor, it didn't work. And the second one too, I had a health program on radio. I just don't want to mention.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a popular. If I mention the man's name, everybody will know, or most people will know. But I don't want to mention.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I follow up. But that one too didn't help me. Yeah, and the third one was actually we were just like attaching it to it. We didn't like I didn't stop the treatment, but we were attaching
so
into it.
You were doing the treatment.
Both.
Okay.
Both the psychiatric treatment and then his before the strike came, so then the medication is finished. No treatment for me, so we heavily relied on him. So that's how the situation happened. Yeah, and so when doctors returned to work, we just quit him and focused on him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are a software engineer now.
Yeah.
And it goes to say that the fact that you were diagnosed with a mental health condition wasn't the end of the world or the end of your life.
Yeah.
You went on to do all the things you wanted to do with your life.
Yeah.
And you are enjoying life, right?
Yeah. So I would say it was very challenging. Very challenging because back in secondary school, I wanted to be an engineer. And I wanted to read. At that time, I wanted to read either electronic engineering or computer engineering in the university. But I couldn't have the necessary grade that qualified me to get admission. And so when I completed, I didn't say, okay, fine, so that ends my life. I believe that there's a way that I can still do what I want to do. So I just was in the house finding the way that I could live the life I want to live. And yes, I found out my interest in IT came out because I was solving people's problems in IT way before I even took courses in it. And so someone who pointed out to me that, oh, the way you've been solving people's problems concerning IT, I think if you study further in it, you'll be good to go. And so I took a short course in it, let's say 8-month course. Yeah. And then it took me further, the things I could do in IT. Yeah. And I started learning online. So I learned the software engineering online, strictly online. I didn't attend any um,
School,
school,
physically.
physical school. So everything was online. Yeah. Then the rest was on me. So I go online and choose which course I want to read. At first I will make the research. I will make the research to acquire the knowledge how the software development goes. You know, we have a lot of technologies you can use to achieve that, but you need to learn one, at least one. Yeah, so I'll do the research. Sometimes I talk to people who are already on the field, and they will guide me. Then I choose the technology. I bought the course online, and I sit back home and just follow it. Yeah.
I know now you have a business, you have clients, companies call you, you settle their issues for them, and I'm really, really happy for you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story for Ofosuware. It's a huge inspiration to men out there. You are the first guy to come on the channel to share their lived experience on bipolar disorder, and I think on any mental health condition in general. I've been trying to get guys to come on, but you know, stigma and discrimination is very high in society, and men and mental health too is a little bit sensitive, a sensitive issue to touch on. So what are your final words to our viewers? I just wanted to look in the camera.
Okay, so I would say that like it is necessary. I know it is hard in Ghana like to come out, especially as a male, but it is necessary that we open up now. Yeah, it is necessary that we open up, at least to share our story so that others too will know that if they have a condition, you still can live the life you want to live. Because to be frank, I'm living the life I want to live. I wanted to be an engineer, and if I would have pursued computer engineering in the university level, I would still end up at the software engineering stuff. Yeah, because I love software. Later, my interest, but I first studied into computer, how to diagnose and fix computers, and I moved to the software engineering. So yeah, so it's like once you set up your mind that you can achieve it and you want to achieve it, even though this thing can be very difficult for you, like it happened to me at a tender age, less than 15 years. That means a long way for me to go to achieve my dream. But I didn't let it just stop me. Yeah, so the little time, because most of the time, especially in secondary school, I was in the hospital. Let's say you have 12 weeks in the term. If I don't spend not 4 weeks in the house, sometimes 7 weeks I had to spend in the house. But I realized that I need to write my terminal exam to get promoted. Yeah, so I found a way to write it. And thank God, I was having my average mark. I was passing as an average student. Yeah. And another thing I would say, that one goes to family and friends.
Okay.
Because for me, my family actually supported me. Yeah. Because if not that, then I too will end up on the street, just like most people on the street. Because mine too was very serious. The attack was very serious. But the thing is, they pay attention to me. They took me to the hospital. They bought me the medications. They ensured that I am taking it. They kept a close eye on me. And they supported me, the things that I need. And so they were there all the time. So it kept me going normally. So even my friends, like let's say secondary school, I don't remember anybody in my class don't know my condition
Oh, okay.
because we can't read it from my behavior unless I tell you I have this condition. Nothing happened. Nothing showed that I have this condition. If I'm in school, I function normally, academically and socially and physically. You get it? So all this thing was because I was having my medication.
And a good support system.
Good support system. Yeah, they take care of me, like they inspire me. And another thing is, during school too, my teachers also helped me. Yeah, some teachers, like my parents actually make the administration understand that this is the condition I had. So, my housemaster and my senior housemaster and my class teacher was the one who supported me greatly
That's nice.
in school. Other than that, to be frank, I wouldn't be able to complete secondary school. And so that's why I said family and friends, or anybody who is in the life of a person with this condition. Yeah, because they really helped me. For my teachers, I'm saying anytime I meet them, I'm so happy. Yeah.
Which secondary school was that?
Westlake Grammar.
Westlake.
Somewhere.
Okay, so which people made sure that everything was accommodated for you?
Okay, so the senior housemaster, the housemaster, my housemaster, and my class teacher.
Okay.
Yes. And later on, assistant head teacher. Yeah.
Everybody was on board.
Everybody was on board. Actually, the administration was like, anytime they see, beginning, my performance was good, let's say, Form 1, first time. When we reached Form 2, then it dropped. And so they call me and ask, they have seen the client, so what is it? Is it because I'm not coming to school or? And then we explain to them that this is the condition. So they even find out, they find it difficult to believe because a person with such a condition, you don't even expect to have such performance. So that's where the school realized if they could give me the support,
You will make it.
I would do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the support came like that.
okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you talked about exits.
Yeah. So normally they give 3 exits
To every student.
To every student, you have 3 exits to go home within a term. But for me, it exceeded that. Anytime I just go to them, they just sign and I go home. Yeah, and that's the reason why I didn't relapse in school.
Okay.
And the reason why my colleagues didn't find out I have this condition. Yeah. And so, and that is also the reason why I was able to always stay in school. Yeah. And the teachers were not troubling me like I'm not in school.
Okay.
When I come back, I just cover up and then I move on.
Okay. So all these things that they did, it's helped you to be able to stay in school and be stable.
Stable,
Yes.
then focus. It prevented a relapse, like I said, but it means that I get to the hospital even before I relapse.
Yeah, early intervention.
Yeah.
So anytime you go, you feel
Yeah, I feel
you don't feel
like
good. You go and see
them. So anytime I feel within myself that no, I'm not feeling well, I quickly go and see either if my housemaster is not there, the senior housemaster.
Okay.
If the senior housemaster and my housemaster is not in school, then the assistant head.
Okay.
Any of them will just sign for me to leave.
Okay.
And sometimes they look at the condition, like how weak I am, they call home
For them to come
pick
for you.
me. Yeah.
That's,
They won't let me go myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very impressive.
So yeah, like I was saying, so that's what I'm saying. Family and friends like the support system. If we receive people like that, it gives them the chance to establish themselves, build themselves, and also able to achieve their dreams and goals.
And also institutions.
Yeah, other institutions like work, church. And so if we understand this, and I think that's why the advocacy is very important, because what I realize is, like I was saying from the beginning, where the stigma was there, if the people don't understand the condition, that's why the stigma
will keep stigmatizing.
Yeah, but when the community find out that, oh, they took me to the hospital and I'm well, I'm back.
Yeah, it's like any other physical
condition. That's why the stigma just went. Because now I'm back, I'm sound, I'm in school, I'm doing what everybody's doing. So it killed the stigma. Yeah.
So I hope that Ofosuware's story encourages you, and like he said, everybody should come on board. Everybody's emotions and feelings are valid. Don't be, if you know someone who is struggling with their mental health, don't tell them it's just all up in their head and all that. Listen to them, be there for them, and support them. Thank you so much for coming. We hope you come back again.
Oh yes. Yes.
We hope you come back again. So it's goodbye from us at the Mental Health Quarters. Make sure you share this video, you like and you subscribe. And if you want to be a guest on this channel to share your story about mental health and disability, you can find my contact details in the description box below. Make sure that you send me a message and we can arrange for you to come. It's goodbye from all of us at the Mental Health Quarters. Bye. Bye.